Fa la 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 la. I'm gonna hope that recording me said that as script writing me intended. Anyway, sorry for the terrible singing. This week's meeting is going to be me reading chapter 2 of my unpublished novel, Shrouded Personas, so let's just get right into it. It's not long before I have the mother throwing up the large blue bulge, though it's kind of worrying that it came out green upon leaving her body, meaning that she's been suffering through this for a while, and I have no doubt that the kids have been close to her for a very long time. So why aren't they also sick as well? The illness usually kicks in almost immediately. Glancing over at the corner of the home, I finally noticed the differences between both of the kids, as well as their mother. Now that the mom's skin isn't as red all over, it's clear that her skin is slightly darker than the children's, but then there is a possibility that the father might just be pale. But where's the father? I should definitely not mention how quickly the illness usually kicks in. That'll certainly cause some problems for the family, especially if the kids aren't aware of it yet. As I wrap up my supplies and carefully place them in my bag, the little boy grabs onto my undershirt again. Thank you. It's no problem, I respond with a kind smile, swinging my bag over my shoulder. I'll be back sometime to ask some questions about everything, but for now it'd be best to rest and get some food into your mom's system. The boy's head drops to the ground, the little girl soon doing the same thing. I toss them some vegetables and fruits. Judging by the condition of the farm, I thought so. I promise I'll pay you back, the boy says, his eyes glinting in the dim light and his expression hopeful. I smile softly and shake my head. Don't worry about it. I have no interest in charging you guys or getting anything in return. But, thank you. The mother cuts off the boy, her face still hovering inches above the puke bucket. Of course, I hold my hands in front of me, doing my best to remain professional and not slouch. Though I'll need to grab that green gob, for testing. The mom gives me a lightly mixed look of confusion and disgust, but promptly agrees, handing the bucket to me. What are you going to test it for? The boy asks me, as I take a plastic bag out of one of my many pockets. I haven't seen a sickness like this be around for a little while, and due to certain beliefs that everyone originated from two people, the risk of such a simple sickness can be excruciating, I explain, carefully placing a bag into my backpack, silently hoping that I closed it properly and it won't destroy everything inside. Do you actually believe that? The little girl asks with a curious tone. I shake my head. No, but it's best to be safe. Gazing out the window, I notice that it must be some time in the early evening now. Jeffrey's gonna be pissed. But I know for a fact that he'll understand if I tell him I was helping someone. I need to go. I frantically grab all my stuff, leaving a fresh apple on the bedside table, and head for the door. Eat, drink, and get some rest. Tell the shopkeeper at Ultimatum Crofts that you know me, and he'll give you some more food and such. As I exit their home and make my way back to where everyone must be waiting, I can't help but think about how easy it was for me to lie to them. I don't need the green gob to test it, but to make potions out of it. I already know everything about that sickness. It was a combined creation between the Salians and the Duthians, to help make the power enhancers for war and such. Sarians ended up being their primary target. After a while, it ended up killing a lot of us, and everyone who did get sick at some point decided to not have kids so they can put an end to it all. So far, it's more rare to see such illnesses nowadays. Luckily, those kids weren't related to that lady, or else things would have ended up far worse. Timber! The old man chokes as he attempts to yell. I gaze up to see that they're all packed up and ready to go. The poor nag already absolutely exhausted and barely able to even see straight. Where were you? I was helping a kid with his sick mother, I respond, climbing onto the carriage. Jeffrey softens. Well, alright then. At least it was for a good reason. How much did we make today? I ask, glancing at the two men in the back. They both look absolutely exhausted. 47 hunions, Jackson answers with a low frown. Oh. I mutter, facing back forward and staring down sadly at the ground. Listen, Jeffrey speaks up after several minutes of nearly silent writing. We all look over to him, waiting for him to tell us what's up. I got word recently that there are some travelers of sorts in Vakmite, looking to get a shipment of fresh crops, and the job pays really well, too. Wait, really? I smile wide, my excitement showing clearly in my voice. But there's a small problem, he adds before I can say anything else. We have to go there ourselves, and we need to be on a ship and headed there by next week. I'm silent as I think through the trip, and how much it may cost. Why can't we just put our supplies on a shipping boat and still get paid for it? Why do we have to go there ourselves? We could go by horse, but I doubt poor Diamond would make it there. That's understandable. Diamond used to be the best workhorse in all of Sarian, but now she's down to this poor, skinny, exhausted creature. There have been ideas of retiring Diamond and letting her live in a field, or even to put her out of her misery, but both cost too much, so she's stuck with this life. We can't sell her either, because there's no way we'll get enough from her to get a younger, stronger horse. Let alone the fact that Jeffrey would essentially be getting rid of all the memories they made together as well. How much should it cost to get there? I ask, staring seriously down at the dusty road. With volunteers, nearly 1,000 hungyans. Just the two of us, around 400 hungyans. Jeffrey explains, but I can tell by his body language that he has another idea. But I can't bear to leave Diamond on her own, and I don't trust leaving her with anyone else. So just you? It would cost around 100 hungyans. Just me? I glance over at him, and he's focused on his horse, as in, me traveling to the whole nother land and doing the work all by myself. Can I trust you? He asks, his tone sounding like he's almost sad. I know that could be dangerous, but the way you dress, act, and how much you know, I have the feeling that you'll be more than prepared for anything. I gaze down at my clothes, staring at the dark brown and muddy pockets that come with the tactical style. These were given to me by the caretaker of my old night school, which I finished last year. They also gave me a blade stained with the poison, known for instantly killing even when breathed in. It took me a while to break the habit of putting my blade close to my face to pick up people's scents using their blood. It's not much of a secret that I went to a night school, as in it's not like I try to hide it, but still no one knows about it. I promise that the people aren't sketchy or anything. And besides, there's a man your age that will be working on the ship, and I know he's safe. In fact, his nickname is even World Wander. So we can both be certain that he knows what he's doing, Jeffrey explains, his sad, old voice making me feel homesick and nostalgic. What's his name? I ask, with the intention of looking to this man later. Antonio Zuma, Jeffrey answers, forcing a smile and tipping his head to some passerbys. Though it seems like he's not from any of the nations. Whenever I've seen him, his colors are always different, and sometimes even mixed up. He most likely primarily wears the colors of the nation he's currently residing in, I mention, thinking back to that being one of the main lessons back in my old night school. I have the choice to go to a university version of my night school, but decided not to. I have learned all I need to already, but I still enjoy learning new things, and rather do that out in the real world. With that in mind, we should probably see if we can get you any violet-colored clothes as well, Jeffrey adds. Violet is the color of Vakmite, which is mainly forced by him. The main trade of Vakmite involves hunting, so I guess that importing crops makes sense, though they do still have their own ways of growing crops there. So what's the point of importing them? Perhaps there's a shortage of sorts, or even some sort of parasite going around making it difficult to grow crops. We can most likely find some stands at the docks, I mentioned nonchalantly. I've had to go undercover in different colors for years, though every time I came back to my home nation, I was forced to burn the clothes and go straight back to the brown wear. Jeffrey shakes his head. It's recently been banned to sell other colors openly recently. Why would they do that? Jaskin asks in complete shock. Because people fake their identity by switching colors, Jeffrey answers, watching as a flock of birds soar out of a large wheat field. It technically was never allowed, but the government is working harder on making sure it happens even less. Of course, make it so that people can't run away instead of just fixing the issues going on in the nation. Jackson mouths, and Jeffrey turns back to give him the stink eye, his old wrinkly face almost looking like something from my nightmares. He turns back and speaks in a calmer voice. We are a nation of farmers. It's not like any of us are going to end up extremely prosperous and wealthy like Aaliyah. The nation of Aaliyah is a large population of people residing within the deep oceans. Their color is dark blue, and their land is almost otherworldly. I've been there twice before for some assignments, and it looks like a space station. There are huge tubes as hallways. There's pills you can take to breathe underwater if you were to go out. And they even have underwater boats that go at the speed of light. Though a lot of the people there are arrogant due to the fact that not many nations are capable of reaching them. So they live in peace underwater. The carriage starts to slow, and before I know it, we're outside my shack. I hop off before the horse has completely stopped and circle around the back. Jeffrey calls out to me before I head inside. Please think about it and tell me in the morning. Alright, I yell in return, not looking back as I wave them goodbye. I give him the finger, and don't you stay up late again. I give him the finger and hear a distant chuckle as I go inside. My entire home is completely dark. If I hadn't lived here for years, then I'd definitely bump into something. Bump into everything just by trying to find my way to my bed. The floorboards creak under me as I slide my bag off my shoulders, telling myself that I'll take the green gob out later. It's far too early for me to be tired, but I should still go to sleep a little earlier tonight. Fuck, I didn't eat anything at all today either. It's amazing that I can even stand. I think it's been 3 days since I've last eaten now. But hey, it's still nowhere near my high score. So I need to do some research on that Antonio guy, do some tests on that gob, see if I have anything edible to eat, and manage to fit in my workout before I go to sleep. Glancing outside, the moon starts to become more visible, and the sky goes dark. Fuck, I'm running out of time. And that is Chapter 2 of my unpublished novel, Shrouded Personas. I'll be leaving a Q&A below for the Spotify listeners, and if you're listening on a platform that has commenting, then feel free to let me know what you think of Chapter 2. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions, and I'll be sure to make an episode once I finally publish the novel. Follow at CWC Publishing on Twitter. Check out my novels Death Trail, Flame Rip, and Arctic Blaze on Amazon and Kobo, link in the description. Check out the Creative Writing Club Patreon, link in the description. Check out the Creative Writing Club Discord server in the description. Check out my personal Instagram at dark_night_wolves. And this week's meeting has this meeting specifically has come to an end.